Do it.
Hey folks, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, and I got the nerdettes with me tonight. Well, most of them anyway. And we're going to be playing some 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons with the Scarlet Sisterhood game. And I guess we'll just jump right in with the recap.
So we're going to recap first. All right. So, when last we met our heroines, Kath's wife, Captain Azucena, was pretty upset that Stanley the Beholder damaged her pirate ship. But at least we could fix it? We sailed back to Gryphongaffe. Then Agnetha got drunk and fell asleep naked in Kath and Azucena's bed. So they broke into her apartment and smoked her stash. Then we discovered that Jerissa was working on the emerald. It exploded and trapped him in green goo for 2 days. As for the emerald, it was forcibly embedded in Bucket's chest, and then he ran off into the woods. So we had to track him down. Then we fought 2 trees that seemed to have been animated by that same green goo. They clobbered Kenna and tried to wrap us up in roots, but they finally fell. You remember how that emerald was the heart of this fey leafy dragon originally? Yeah, it's a dragon again, with Bucket embedded in its back. The dragon finally got a little more specific, and it told Deneen it had come to retrieve the message. So after we managed to disintegrate the dragon, Bucket was trying to slash Kenna's neck with her own sword, since he was still possessed by the emerald, until Kath cast Remove Curse. To quote Bucket once he came around, "Oh my."
That is basically exactly what happened. And with that, oh my, his fingers just kind of release the blade, and it just falls, falls to the ground, point first, between Kenna's legs. It is sticking out of the ground, and Bucket kind of stumbles away. Oh, dear me, what happened?
Like this. I'm alive, right? I can.
Are you bleeding profusely from your throat right now?
That important question.
He never sliced the remove curse went off, and the gem fell away, and moments after the gem hitting the ground between Bucket's legs, the blade did.
Like nothing actually happened. It's okay, Bucket.
You see him looking around, and this is not Jarissa's workshop.
No.
So Deneen, who had grabbed his weapon and was like running away with it, looks back over her shoulder and sees that things have calmed down a little.
I'm gonna start prestidigitating him clean.
So everything happened really fast, but so you're not sure at what point that it started like turning to goo.
The weapon?
Yes, it's turning to goo in your hands.
Kenna, clean my hands, please. Presta. Thank you.
Only girls.
Oh. Hey, that green glue was. Hey, don't give me that.
I'm not there. I'm at church.
No, but that green goo, for reference, was like possessing people and things. So Deneen has good reason to be horrified that she's got green goo on her at this point.
Also girls.
Or used to.
I'm not there. I'm at church. I'm tweeting that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, also this is like it's almost like getting spider web on you, but much worse, and that's gross. No matter what gender you are.
Yeah.
Gender neutral stuff.
No. The best thing is everyone knows karate once they've walked through a spider web. Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Deneen used to sleep in garbage, but now she has standards about dirt. It's different.
So now it kind of looks like, that stuff had formed armor plates on Bucket, but now it just looks like pond scum that's kind of like stuck to him and kind of runny and gooey. And of course Bucket always dresses really nice, so it's like all like mashed into his clothes, and he's like, he seems rather squeamish about it. So I was helping Jerissa. We were working, and we had been working for a while, days I think. Jerissa wouldn't take a break, and there was a flash of light, and then I'm here with you ladies. Did we figure out what to do with the gem?
Is it still sitting there in the grass, or did it turn into goo too?
No, it's sitting there on the grass.
All right, let's wrap that up again very carefully, like last time, so that it's not going to get accidentally touched or picked up by anyone.
Or let's just release a beholder.
Yeah. That'd be par for the course for us. So Denise says, well, it kind of exploded, and this green goo possessed you, and it was complicated. She tucks the gem away and starts using fast hands to pick splinters out of Kenna.
Maybe we should put it in the containment flower.
I thought you got rid of that flower.
No, of course I said, well, I mean, the part of it that we didn't cook with anyway.
It's not, it came
back.
Corrupted by evil. You can't put it in there.
Deneen.
It'll make it worse.
If you set something free and it comes back to you, then you were supposed to have it. So it is now sitting on my shelf next to the jar of ice.
There were demon devil things that came out of that flower. You put the emerald in there, and we're going to be fighting like a green bread dough fairy monster. No.
Okay, we'll get different containment flour.
I think we should just ask Drissa how to destroy it. That's what I think.
Or we could just sell it to a passing vendor that will carry it far, far away, maybe to Faust Haven.
No. How about no?
I thought you ladies had intended on using this using the gem to trap your father, right?
Yeah, that didn't work out.
That was before it turned
that
out
didn't
to be
work out, did it?
hurt you.
Yeah. No, if it's gonna explode and trap people and possess people, then I'll just keep it and then give it to the tree lady as like a bonus prize when we go hand her my father-in-law. How about that?
I guess that's an idea. Didn't you had told them where you got where the gem had come from, right?
Yeah. We said it was in the heart of this weird leafy dragon thing that claimed I stole something.
And it is enough for our jump to make from there that it came from the Feywild, because we were just in the Feywild and we definitely talked to them about that at some point.
This is some Fey BS right here, for sure.
Maybe it already belongs to her.
It might. Maybe she'll want it back.
Maybe. I try not. I don't know very much about Fey or anything from this world, but it all seems very confusing. Everything was so much simpler in the Clockwork Kingdom. It ran like clockwork.
I agree, Bucket. Life was much simpler before.
So, how did I get all the way out here? Like he's looking around like he's looking for the walls.
You run really fast, and you were flying on a dragon.
Yeah.
Also,
but it's okay. You're fine now, and I'm still prestidigitating him as we're having this conversation.
So
to get all the pond scum cleaned off.
Yeah, when you say he flew out on a dragon, he almost like glitches a little bit and says, "Ithiana."
What?
Huh? Where?
Ithiana what? Ithiana what?
What does that mean?
Where did that come from?
Huh. Maybe it was some of the residual something. I don't know.
I feel like I have. He kind of starts like rubbing at his temple, and except for like his, it's all metal, and so it's almost like metal on metal a little bit, and he's like, I feel like I've got like these memories or pictures in my head and words that don't make sense.
Do any of them look like a tree covered in snow?
No, there is a lady, and she's she's walking through the forest.
Does she look like this? And Janine casts minor illusion and makes an illusion of just the face of that woman with the feral fangs that was like embedded in the tree in her vision.
A little bit, but different. She's she's tall and thin, and she's got the long pointy ears, and he kind of points like to your ears, but only a little bit longer. And
like an Eladrin, and she'll show you an example of one of them.
Yes, but she's prettier. And she's wearing, it looks like an emerald gown, and it's kind of, it looks like it's flowing around her. Almost like it's alive.
Emerald, huh?
That sounds like the wrong court, Deneen.
She starts like police sketching this up.
Yeah.
Well, he was just had an emerald in him, and now he's seeing this emerald lady. So maybe it's hers or from her, or she's...
This sounds like summer court nonsense to me, Deneen.
Yeah, it does. Maybe. I don't know. Green summer, right?
I think it's, and he kind of points at Deneen. I think it's whatever was in that gem. I think her name is Ithiana.
Well, weren't Agnetha and Haley in that gem? They didn't mention seeing anybody, though.
Well, we should go ask her, because,
Yeah.
you don't always see everything with your eyes.
Or maybe it wasn't in the gem. Maybe it is the gem.
Like they turned her into the gem.
Ithiana.
I'm gonna take the wrapped up gem because it's wrapped up in fabric out of my pack and just hold it up to my ear.
Okay. He seems to be like almost like trying to like feel around the word with a tongue that doesn't exist, almost, because as he rolls the word Ithiana around in his metallic mouth.
So you think that's maybe a name?
I'm gonna start ushering us homewards as we're having this conversation.
Yes, let's
walk and talk.
Ithiana, and then the Green Death.
The Green Death?
That doesn't sound promising, Bucket. That sounds very scary, Bucket. I don't like the sound of that, Bucket.
Well, she whatever enslaved me, right? Can't be nice.
Yeah.
We have specific rules about this in the Clockwork Kingdom.
But that thing was... I guess we don't really know who sent that dragon originally. Like, it wasn't necessarily my father-in-law. He said that those, like, fast little things were his, but he didn't say anything about a dragon. So as we're walking, Deneen holds up her arm to pull back wisdom, and then nothing happens, and then she remembers, and she goes, and she just keeps trudging along.
We start picking up twigs and leaves for you on the way back.
That's a good one, thank you. She puts them in a little bag to save for later.
And I just envision Ken is just going to have extras already built.
I assume Deneen has to build it because it takes a whole hour.
I don't actually know the anatomy of an owl quite so well, but I'll stash all the good leaves.
Oh, neither does Deneen. She's like weirdly specific, like this leaf will work. No, definitely not this one, etc. Yeah.
Like they're like one shade of green off, but maybe your elven eyes see what I do not.
Somehow this one's not going to work.
So, are you teleporting back to the town?
I have to rest first.
Well, we ran out here.
Lost that part. That would be great.
Oh, that's right. You teleported out here. Yeah. We're like, wait. Oh, then we're just gonna.
We need to get back home where Haley is.
We need to camp.
We're waiting this entire time, and I feel terrible.
I know, but we need to at least camp and rest, and you get your spells back because we're too far to travel.
Right. We've got to teleport, so I'm okay to gloss that if you guys are okay to gloss that. Just saying.
Yeah. I'm okay to gloss that as long as Dave's okay to gloss that.
Exactly.
But I've got random encounter tables. No, you guys can make it through the night.
Unless the random encounter tables are in church.
So you take your long rest. You guys rejuvenate.
Hooray!
So is that the first thing you're doing is porting back?
Yes.
Okay.
I would spend my one of my not meditating hours rebuilding an owl.
Okay.
Guess she'll be an owl today.
Wisdom is back. She hasn't been anything other than an owl yet.
It's true. Maybe someday.
The rule is, I think you have to have the stuffed animal for it.
I have an assortment of stuffed animals here, so don't give me that, Dave.
Jen's got to get more puppets first.
I've got them.
Next she's gonna be like, you have to have a real owl.
Eventuality. I've got a chipmunk. I've got a cat. I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got a bat.
It's gonna pull out the life-size lion.
I can't do that one.
So where do you usually teleport back to, the Vardo?
Yes.
Close my door. My dog is being so loud outside.
Okay, so the both of you are back in Halflington.
Like that's where my Hearthstone is set, and poor Bucket is way too big to be in here. I mean, it's the human-sized Vardo, but he's large, right?
No, he's medium.
Oh, okay.
We still instruct him to kind of crouch down first, because like Danine's relatively short, but just in case we don't want him to like bang his head when we get there. So yeah.
Yeah, so he absolutely does that, and crouches down without any problems. It's actually much easier for him than it is for a person of flesh and bone. This is quite the dwelling you have here, Miss Kenna.
Thank you.
Kath and my husband made it.
Oh, excellent work! And he kind of starts examining the woodwork.
The music box parts that are like that you feed the pokey holes through.
Oh.
Because like Kat did this.
It's a giant music box.
Cranking the crank and like playing the pipe music.
So he seems amused with it briefly. He seems like he's kind of acknowledging it, but at the same time, he doesn't seem overly.
That's adorable.
Let's get you back to Jerissa. He's probably worried about
maybe
you.
Maybe he comes from a city where things are like that all the time. But he does seem to pick up on the significance it holds to you.
I feel like a child that's parent is a baker showing off the burned cookies.
Hey, it's still much cooler and more clockworky than literally every other Vardo in town. So
that is not wrong. That is not wrong. So what happened to Jerissa? Is he okay?
Mm-hmm.
He was glued to the wall for 2 days, but he's okay.
I'm sure he's eaten by now.
Eaten food, not been eaten.
Yes, that.
Well, that is good. I'm glad to hear that he's okay. Things have gotten much more interesting since he's begun hanging and dealing with you ladies.
I'm not sure whether to say I'm sorry or you're welcome.
Yes.
It's like the lot of you are like all one Sheena put together or taken apart, as the case may be. So I guess I will take my leave and head back to the library.
Okay.
I want to check in on Jerissa and make sure he's okay and he's taking care of himself.
Since you live in a library anyway, maybe you could like look up that name.
Oh, you know who's probably heard of it?
Who?
Haley. And I immediately run.
That's right. She's a cleric of knowing things. Find Haley. Yes. Now, here, this way. I know a shortcut. And Janine will use her double speed inside a city thing and drag you through the city. Double time. Pew!
So you ladies roadrunner it over to the temple to Quinthel.
I don't knock. I run in. I immediately like beeline for where I think Haley is most likely to be, and I run in saying, "Haley, Haley, Haley."
So okay, so you do that, and are you going to go looking for her room or for into the temple
library
itself? Okay.
That's your assumption that she's got to
My
be in the
assumption
library,
is-
right?
Right. That's funny. So I think that my character's probably actually praying at the altar. So I'm hearing probably her yelling through the church as she's
Like
running
all of her.
to the library.
It's like Doppler effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so while she's running around like an anime character everywhere, Deneen like casually walks up the aisle to Haley and says, "Hey, Haley."
Yeah. You're hoping it's an echo and not an actual horde of Kennas.
Yeah, we had an interesting couple of
You
days.
think so? Do you think we should go get Kenna? Do you think she knows where she's going?
She'll figure it out.
Okay.
And if she doesn't, she'll find something interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and Deneen proceeds to fill in Haley about the exploits related to this emerald, and when we went up to Ryler and we released this. Oh, right, you know about that part. But yeah, and we had to save Bucket from a dragon. And Kenna almost got killed again.
Bucket was a dragon, I say, falling from the ceiling. I have no idea how I got up there.
Kenna.
I'm glad you've been working on your climbing, Kenna. I'm very proud of you.
I imagine there was a mezzanine or something, and I just kind of dove over the side.
And you surprised me. That's extra impressive. Good job.
So Bucket wasn't actually the dragon. He was definitely mounted on the dragon.
Yeah, Deneen will clarify that. There was like a dragon kind of formed around and under him, but it was all from this emerald, which I have with me and might be throwing in the river or might be keeping. I can't decide.
We look at it, like we can take it to one of the elders in the library, where actually I think which is where Kenna was trying to go in the first place.
It was, and I found it, and you weren't there, but you're here, so it's okay.
We got to be careful with it though, because it has this history of like exploding and possessing people, and it's kind of bad news.
As long as it's not, it's like wrapped up and we're in good shape.
Yes, yes, it is wrapped up.
Well, I guess we just need to let the archivist not to touch it.
And our other question is, do you know or they know anything about Ithiana, the Green Death? Because apparently that's who the emerald this is, or the emerald is her, or something.
I mean, Dave, would my character know? Would this be a roll thing, or would this just be like a no chance in hell thing?
This is probably a no chance in hell thing. I don't know what spells the two of you have at your disposal. Legend lore might be a way of figuring stuff out.
But that's why we've got a library full of knowledgeable elders,
Exactly.
archivists, and etc.
It's all about the etc.
Yeah.
It's about who you know who knows.
So I would say the founder of this temple is very close to your own strength in their faith. So you were kind of at the top of the food chain.
Ooh.
But not the knowledge food chain.
Well, so yeah, well that's true. Like there are probably scholars that know more or might specialize. So,
I mean, is there
or we could ask our other Fae buddy.
Well, at least I can put a word in.
Go to the Guardian of the Grove.
We could go and at least put a word in, and I don't know. See if we hear anything back. Maybe get a messenger later, so at least there's information. We can write it out, leave it here in the library, and one of the.
Oh, and she looks like this. Illusion, illusion, illusion.
Oh, okay. Oh no, that doesn't. I've never seen.
It's Fae stuff, so it might be a little too obscure for this plane. But she wanted the message. We only have 2 messages, Kenna. As far as I know.
1 now.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had the message on you when you encountered the creature the first time. The second time you had already sent it with wisdom.
Assuming that's the message it means, yes.
Yes. Assuming it was that one.
What's the what?
Wasn't that just a bunch of like filling somebody in on how their life was going stuff, or
No,
was there something important in that?
it was a fancy rhyming message to one of the houses in Carchapathium.
Did you make a copy by chance?
I did write it down, and it says, and she riffles through her notes. It says, it's to House Cyan Starleaf. As ravens fly, heroes die. Wait, is it dangerous for me to read this out loud?
See what happened. Nothing bad.
Here,
ever
read
happened
this.
from someone just doing
So
something.
she hands it around, and the rest of it says, the old ways are reborn. Hear the horn, hear the horn, hear the horn. You are called upon to... And then I don't have the rest of it here. I was going to get it from Dave. There was more. I swear.
Da, da, da.
Deneen should have it, though. I just don't.
Yes, Deneen does have it.
Right.
I also don't remember where I put it. Put the note. I'm pretty sure.
Return would rhyme, so maybe that was it.
It basically though it definitely had the gist and sounding like the calling of Bannerman.
Hmm. Well, who knows?
Well, I don't imagine that the specific message is like so much of particular value, so it has to be that they didn't want it to be delivered.
Well, I still don't see any harm in us going to the library to see if there's anybody here.
Good try.
Mm-hmm. I like books.
Besides, you're already there. Do you see anybody there?
So the library, the temple has a library in it, but it is actually not nearly as impressive as the one with the Elven library because it's been here much longer.
Oh, so this library is more like associated with the school, like it's the school library.
It is. So the library here is associated with the school. They have a school. They have the infrastructure for that, and as well as it is a temple to the Quinthal. But it's also within the last year or so that it's been formed.
Oh, that's true. It's new. That's right.
Well, we could.
Now I have another quest: is to fill this library full of knowledge and secrets.
So we could check the Elven library. We could go back to Carchapathium and try to find out there. Except, I don't know. How bad do you think we need to know?
I'd say it's a pretty big deal. Like we need to know. I mean, this has come back to bite us in the butt how many times now?
Yeah, and if nothing else, we may need to know because I'm going to try and negotiate with Fae Tree Lady Winter person. Mm-hmm. So if I need to know if this is like her ally or her enemy, because otherwise we have no leverage whatsoever. Other than my father-in-law. Once we get him, which we don't have yet.
Right.
So I guess we do have to figure that out. Well, let's try the Elven Library. And if that doesn't work, we'll hit Carchapathium. It's a long trip, but you've been there before. And we have an associated object.
I haven't been anywhere outside my town. Belford Fields.
You stick with us. You'll go all over the place.
BeholdHer catacomb.
I promise not everywhere we go is covered with goo.
It's been my whole life.
You know, it's starting to be. That said, I need to have a sleep before I do that again. To be perfectly honest, I'm kind of running on excess caffeine right now.
Well, yeah, and I'm gonna go visit my family and all that. Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow.
Right. Because you can only do that once a day, right?
Right. And then we're going to have to sleep in Carchapathium.
Right. Last time we were in Carchapathium, somebody tried to kill us.
Yep.
But but the somebody was associated with the hags, and now the hags are gone. So either it's safer or it's more dangerous. I'm not sure.
Oh, here's a thought. They haven't seen her, and you can disguise yourself, and I can be invisible, so we'll just do this super low-key.
That sounds great.
Okay.
So we're going to where first?
We're gonna hang out for the rest of the day and rest up. You can pack your stuff for a trip to the magical elven kingdom of Carshapathium.
Okay.
And then we'll go there tomorrow, I guess.
Okay.
It is so pretty. You're going to love it.
Okay, so then I'll go to the library and try to find out everything I can about Carshapathium to study.
You can find that is actually fairly easy for you to do. You can get.
So I figured I could at least research this place because I'm sure.
Learn Elven overnight.
I think I know it.
Wow.
Everybody speaks Elven.
Denise's much better at it now than she used to be.
I have to check my stats, but I think I know it.
So yeah, you're able to brush up and you get a basic understanding of the ruling class. Oh, and also there is also the fact that Agnetha is kind of missing too.
We were glossing over that until you told us what was going on, Dave. But yes.
I thought she was okay.
Yeah, where is Agnetha? Did we forget her in the woods?
No, she never teleported with you.
So she didn't teleport back. Oh, she didn't go out with us?
She didn't teleport out with you.
Okay, so we're assuming she's somewhere here in town. But then what about Kath, who did teleport out with us? And we've just been not mentioning because her player is not here.
Kath did come back with you, and she went to the ship before it sails off again.
Okay. Well, we don't need the full crew for this. We'll just let Kath have some time with Azucena.
We're not worried about her.
We're not worried about her, but we should find Agnetha. Let's try to find Agnetha.
Because Agnetha did disappear mid-teleport.
I mean...
mid-teleport?
Because the last I know,
yes.
She was ready to chew me out. Maybe she's just cooling down somewhere.
Kenna, you remember how Agnetha was teleporting with us and then wasn't?
Oh, yeah.
Is that anything to worry about? Like, I was just kind of assuming you were sending us to various houses and that I ended up in the wrong place.
You know what? I'm going to go check the bars because if she's here, that's probably where she is. And
I'll go check her apartment.
Okay. And maybe one of us should ask Harak.
Yeah. That's
All
a
right.
good idea.
So we'll confer tomorrow, and wherever she is, I'm sure she's fine, but we'll just check to be certain. Just to be certain.
Haley, why don't you come with me? I'll show you where she lives.
When you teleported out, you were in Jarissa's workshop. And it was the four of you.
So she was there last time but that was 2 days ago now.
Yes, it was 2 days ago.
All right. Well, I wouldn't assume she's still sitting there. So let's check. Let's check around first. And then maybe we'll converge on the library since we have to do some research there anyway. How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
I'd like to see where everybody hangs out. I love this.
So I'm going to go to bring Haley to Agnetha's apartment, which, of course, Kath and Azucena broke into already. So there's signs of forced entry, which we don't know about.
I thought it was the other way around.
Good. No, Agnetha was sleeping in their bed on the ship, so they went and broke into her apartment.
I totally forgot that part.
But Deneen doesn't know about this. So she sees this and she's like, oh, that's not good. That's not good. And she'll go in and look for Agnetha. Is there an Agnetha here?
There is not.
And her stash is gone. Because they took it. Oh, she's not going to be pleased about this one. There's usually more, that smell in the air is usually not quite so smoky. Well, she's not here. Okay.
Look rummaged, or
you guys had split up, right?
Me.
Yeah, we did that night. And then we got back together in the
No,
morning.
no. I mean, when you guys left the temple just now, you guys split up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with Deneen and.
Okay.
Is it more fun if we didn't?
No, it's the same to me.
The party.
Okay.
Kenna actually runs into something really odd and strange that you've only seen one time, maybe one time since you've been in Gryphongaffe. Jarissa is kind of like nervously looking around as he's walking in your direction, and he looks like he's looking. He looks like he's looking for someone.
Did Bucket run away again?
What? No. Bucket came back, and he told me about what he remembered that happened, and
Yes.
what happened to the other one, the tall, loud, obnoxious one? Did you leave her somewhere on purpose?
No, I'm looking for her right now, actually.
She left with you when you cast your spell and you teleported out.
Oh, no, I thought she'd been left behind. I was gonna go check the busted donkey because I was sure that's where she'd be. Oh, I'm in trouble. She's gonna be so mad at me. She doesn't trust magic stuff on the best of days. So what could have gone wrong that she didn't end up where we went?
Oh, I hope she didn't end up in a tree or something.
Oh, no, if she ended up in a tree, she'll be fine.
No, I meant in the tree.
Oh, that can happen?
Of course it can happen. Don't you know anything about these spells you cast?
I'm a bard! I listen to the cadence of the words and the motions that people are making. It's kind of like singing and dancing for me. I didn't know. No.
I would expect that from Sparks, to be honest with you. But yes, if you teleport, you got to be very careful when you teleport. If you teleport and you don't know quite where you're going, or or something happens, you could end up, in the center of the earth.
I have a stick.
I see you have a stick.
It was from the woods where we were going. I thought having a focus made it more likely that nothing would go wrong. Oh no.
It does. Usually. But magic is not exact sometimes.
Can you scry? Can we scry for her? Can we find her that way maybe?
Possibly. So she...
I'm a bad person.
She didn't end up...
a bad couple of days, Kenna, is what Deneen would say if she were there, but she's not, so forget it.
Well, your other friends came back, right? They're, Bucket told me.
Everybody else is here. We teleported back and everything, and nothing went wrong this time. Oh no, what if she's in the field? Could that have happened?
Well, that's unlikely, but it could happen.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
Or the shadow.
Yeah, but what if we really irritated somebody powerful in the Fey courts?
Ooh, well, if they kidnapped her, I think they're going to bring her back.
I think you're right. But we should probably still go rescue her anyway.
What did you end up doing with the gem?
Deneen has it?
Yep.
We need to find Deneen.
So I've been talking to Bucket for a little bit, and I've got some information from him, and I started doing a little bit of research, and then that's when it occurred to me that 4 of you's left, but 3 of you came back, so I was concerned, and I didn't say anything in front of Bucket. I didn't want to, in case he said there was a fight or a battle or something, and if maybe your companion didn't make it back, I didn't want him to feel guilty.
Right, no, she didn't, it wasn't like that. He did almost cut my throat, but that wasn't his fault. It was the dragon, not him.
Yeah.
We didn't tell him that.
I'm, from talking to Bucket and what I've already know, I'm starting to think that the gem is the dragon.
Yeah, that's kind of the same conclusion we came to.
And he said something about a lady, like an elven lady. And
could Agnetha be in there again, you think?
That would seem unlikely. I mean, the gem was already where you're going, and you all reached the destination, and she wasn't with you.
Yeah. Oh, I really hope she's okay.
Me too. She was kind of loud and boisterous, and I was always afraid she was going to break something in the workshop. But, other than that, she seemed okay.
She is. She's wonderful. I care about her a lot. I don't know. I mean, it's been one thing after another the past couple of days, and I am just reeling and haven't really caught up with this, but we need to find her, so...
Can this be when we burst in?
It can be.
So we burst in, and Janine says, Kenna, this is really bad.
What happened?
Somebody broke into Agnetha's apartment and shook the place down.
Okay.
Her stash is gone. I don't know what else is gone, and she's not there.
Well, if it had been the Lummage, there wouldn't be a trace to have found in the first place, so we know it wasn't her.
I guess that actually is within the realm of possibility, but no, it was out of character. I don't know how good Kath is at picking locks, or if they just bashed it open. I'll leave that ambiguous. So Janine says, well, whoever broke in didn't do it the way I would have. That's for sure.
Maybe they just wanted the pipe weed.
They'd have to know.
Because as it turns out, when we poured it out, she came with us. She hasn't been here, so they couldn't have taken her from here because she left with us, but she didn't end up where we were, and now we don't know where she is, and okay.
So it wasn't just her losing her key then?
No. Well, maybe.
Yeah, but then she would have taken the rest of her stuff. That was a break-in. Could they have been looking for this message thing?
That's possible, but they seem pretty focus fired on you for that, so...
I'm gonna go back to my apartment just briefly, just to
yeah,
check.
You do that.
Haley, I'm not bringing you with me because I don't like people knowing where I live. Nothing personal. Goodbye.
Okay.
She's gone again.
She has things stashed away that she doesn't like everybody knowing about.
Do you know about
she'll
them?
eventually tell you.
Do you know about?
Well, yeah, but it was kind of an accident.
Okay.
Also, I knew her for months before she told me, so it's a process. That said, do you know of any way to find Agnetha? If we maybe have something of hers, or...
I don't have any way to trace or find a person.
So, do you want to come with me and help Jarissa scry?
Yeah, what choice do we have? Unless you've got something... I don't... Do you have any magical items that'll let you do that?
No.
Yeah, I don't have anything either. So, yeah, let's go find the person or the next person who can help us. Hopefully you know somebody.
I point at Jarissa, who is standing right here.
Oh! Sorry, didn't even see you there.
He's our wizard buddy. He's awesome.
I have been known to scry from time to time. Oh, so do you have anything that belongs to Agnetha?
I am sure I do. Give me a moment.
That would make things much easier.
I'm like digging around in my bag.
Do you have any of her ritual smoking? Stuff?
You go get something from her apartment.
Yeah, we could go get something from her apartment.
Yeah. Do you want him to know where she lives, or is that?
Oh no, Agnetha isn't as worried about people knowing where she lives. Danine's just weirdly secretive.
So then maybe we could just find something there, or just be there. Maybe it'll help with the spell or the incantation.
Oh yeah, if you did it from inside her apartment, would that be helpful?
Yeah, I guess that might work. I mean, it's got her stuff there, and you know, her feng shui is there. Feng shui.
Something Something like that. All right. So go to Agnetha's apartment.
I will, if you just let me know where it is, I will meet you there. I'll return and grab some of my gear. I'll get Bucket to give me a hand.
I write down the address and so just as a precaution, I'm pretty sure that she's kind of not dating the captain of the guard. If he shows up looking for her and notices the door is broken, just tell him to wait until we get there before he goes ballistic on you.
You want him to stop him from doing that?
Well, no, just be just tell him that you're waiting on us. Just say we're waiting on the Scarlet Sisterhood, and he might not be angry. I don't know. He's a pretty level-headed guy. It should be fine.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't like the sounds of that at all. Harak has no neck.
Just lay down on the street.
Yeah, he's always pretty. He's a reasonable chap.
Well, I have heard that about him.
It's true. Can confirm.
It's surprising too, considering
Considering
he kind of in a conspiratorial whisper, he's a half orc.
You sound like my racist grandmother.
She knows he's a half orc too?
No. Well, okay, she just gets really iffy about people that aren't halflings, I think. She's always telling me to make more halfling friends, and it's neither here nor there.
Well, anyway, like I said, he seems really level-headed for a half orc. Armies of orcs have attacked us down a couple times.
I know, but he is really level-headed for anybody. He's a good guy, I promise you.
Well, I will get my stuff and I will meet you over there.
Okay.
And if you get there first, that would be even better, so you can explain to him. I don't want to be the one to tell the half-orc that his girlfriend's missing. Ooh, wait a minute.
That's complicated.
Wait a minute. You might not want to be the one to tell the half-orc that his girlfriend's missing.
No, it'll be fine. And this isn't the first time she's gone missing. I'm sure he's used to it by now.
You've misplaced her before?
Yes.
All right. You ladies are very complicated.
Yeah. Yes.
So Deneen, back at the secret place.
Yes, the top secret place. The people at the thing at the place, yeah. She's just gonna try and make it real quick, just to say, hi, we're back in town. I'll be here to rest tonight. Nice to see you. I just want to make sure you're okay, assuming they're actually there. Are they actually there?
They are actually there, and you're immediately assailed.
Ah, excellent.
So yes, Thane comes in, hits you with a tackle, probably a little bit above the waist. She's getting bigger. Mommy,
I still can't believe how tall you are. I'm never gonna get used to it. You got a foot taller while I was gone. I'm not used to it.
Well, you were gone a long time last time, and she kind of voice trails off.
Sweetie. But I have very good news, which is that if we ever have to go back there again, we have some special magic that should protect us so that it won't take a long time.
Well,
okay, so
it's all right. Daddy's been teaching me how to shoot the bow.
Oh, he has. That's a very important thing to know. That's very good. That's a really elfy thing,
Well, she is.
I was so happy when I learned how to shoot a bow.
She's what, 3/4 elf?
Yep.
Yes, and he's been showing me how to use a sword, and the other halflings, the halfling kids that I play with, they've been showing me how to use the sword too. Their aunt sword fights with them.
That's super cool. I'm going to show you how to hide a dagger and where to stick people with it if you absolutely have to, okay? It's really important. Mommy learned it when she was your age, and it helped me a lot. So
Ilian kind of gives you a bit of a cross look.
Ilarian.
And
it finally occurs to Janine that maybe this is not normal. It's just she says, I mean, I'm going to talk to Daddy about it first, of course. But
we have been working on some sword play, and he like emphasizes the word play.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And and some
it's just
archery.
a game, honey. Mm-hmm. I guess it's a little different, Fane. You can have fun with this. That's what's great about being the kind of kid you are, and where you are. I kind of forgot for a minute. But
she does kind of turn. She turns away from you and turns to Ilarion, beaming. Mommy's gonna teach me where to stick daggers in people, and make the daggers in people disappear. And Fane, we'll talk about this. We don't need to stick anyone with anything or make people disappear right now. We have a good home here, and maybe we can move on can show you some carpentry and wood carving.
Yes,
Mommy has a lot
of that too.
Mommy has a lot of other great things she can show you, like how she gets around town so fast, and
that's true.
And how good she is at finding things.
I have found a thing or two.
Less dangerous things.
And speaking of finding things, we're looking for Agnetha, which is why I can't stay right now.
So Ilarion kind of gives you a little bit of a serious look. Is she missing?
Yeah, we Kenna kind of. Oh wait, Denise doesn't know this. Does she know Kenna teleported her off into oblivion? I don't think she was there for that. Somebody broke into her apartment, so...
No, yeah, you were there.
Okay. Yeah, she kind of got teleported off. She's probably just in some other woods somewhere. Like, no big deal. But we'll figure it out. And then after that, we've got to go to Carshapathium, which means... Oh,
Mommy, that's where the elves are. Can I go see the elves?
Oh, not yet, honey. Because I got to make sure everything's totally safe before you guys leave the city again. And she gives Ilarion a look.
But the last time you went there, you're gone for so long.
I know, but this time we don't have to walk. So it'll be faster.
Are you going to fly? And she kind of starts doing making her arms like wings and flapping them.
It's going to be magic.
Oh, I want to see magic. Daddy, can I go with Mommy?
Do you want to see some magic? And then Deneen will totally distract her by casting illusions and stuff to show her what Carshapathium looks like and pretty flowers and trees and whatever will distract her.
So that occupies her for a little while. And then she just stops all of a sudden and gives you a bit of a sly look. Mommy, I'm not a baby anymore.
I know.
How old is she now?
She would be, after 18 months, probably 10 and a half.
I've been going to school. I've been learning numbers and letters. And Daddy is teaching me. And then she switches to Elven.
Very good.
To speak like the elves. And I want to go see where we come from.
Well, that's not where we came from. That's just another place with elves in it. The place we came... And then Denny pauses and says, well, we're not going back to Ryler. Ever.
Mommy, elves don't come from Ryler.
But we all came from Ryler. I don't know where we were before that. I don't know where Daddy's family is from. I don't know where my family was from, whoever they are.
Yeah, I don't.
So who knows?
I don't remember Pop-Up at all.
The important thing is that our family is right here, and we're together.
Well, when are you going to take me to see the elves?
As soon as it's safe, I will take you to see the elves. Okay.
Okay. You
but
always
I have
say
a bunch
it's not
of stuff.
safe.
I have a bunch of stuff I need to fix first. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. You promise you wait. You don't go see the elves by yourself, okay?
What about... Can I go see Vance?
Yeah, absolutely. You can go see Vance. They have the cool hot tub there, too.
He's told me all about Carshapathian. I bet I know more than you know. And she kind of gets a little snotty.
It wouldn't surprise me. He knows more than me about Carshapathian. Why don't you go ask him questions for like a couple of hours? Whenever Daddy goes back there to do some maintenance, maybe Vance can babysit you the whole time. Kath would really like that.
She kind of narrows her eyes and scrunches her nose at you at the same time when you say at the words babysit.
He could keep you company and tell you all about Carshapathian.
Well, I would like that, but I don't need a babysitter, Mommy. You
Okay.
You were living in Ryler all by yourself when you were about my age.
That's true, but it was like super difficult, and I had to eat out of trash cans and steal stuff, and it wasn't good. So the way you're living is much better, because then you have people around.
All right. Well, once you teach me to stick people, then I won't have to worry about being safe.
There's always things to look out for, but we'll talk about that another time.
So eventually you're able to extract yourself from the word trap that are children.
Exactly. So Deneen attempts to completely dodge communicating with her husband, and instead she just says, so like I said, I have to go look for Agnetha, but I will be back tonight.
Are you sure she's not? And she kind of lowers his voice a little bit, trying to keep it from the words from Fane. You sure she's not just on a bender somewhere?
She might be, but because of the whole teleport thing, in combination with somebody breaking into her apartment, that's really not good. So we're gonna try and find her.
I wouldn't be surprised if she broke into her own apartment.
But then she wouldn't have taken her own stuff without taking her other stuff.
Maybe. Who knows? That one is a little wild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past her breaking in if she just, like, forgot her keys or something, but they took... Yeah. Anyway. I'll let you know what I find out.
All right. I can't wait. And he kind of makes a face. Some things never change, dear. Just be safe.
Have you ever heard the word Ithiana before?
He pauses for a moment. There's familiarity to that in the way it sounds, but not the... I don't know that name.
Okay.
It sounds old.
It's like a fae thing. It's like a fae lady with an emerald.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. And she looks like this.
Where did you find her or meet her?
We didn't. There was this magic emerald that... Has your dad ever used magic emeralds with his creepy, weird, fae deal magic thing?
I don't know if he's used emeralds specifically. I mean, he's used different things in his incantations. I mean, I left there when I was young with you, but I did see him occasionally using burning incense and
like
regents.
Ritual stuff.
Yeah.
Now that I do magic, I know all about the ritual stuff.
Yeah, I try and stay away from that. And mostly it was from hiding when I would see him do it. He didn't want to get caught. And he would always keep some of those little creepy guys around. So they were really hard to hide from.
Aren't they? They're super fast.
They're so fast.
I had to kill a couple of them recently.
Nothing should be allowed to be that fast. And they're all very cruel. They're like, it's like they're all like that kid that would pick the wings off of flies and then leave them to die, or burn ants with glass in the sun. They're all mean. I never knew. I couldn't. When I was younger, I could never understand why my father would keep them around. It wasn't until later that I understood better.
Yeah. Well, that's why I bought extra caltrops.
It's not a bad idea.
And ball bearings. Just in case.
That's actually a great combination, I think, for those guys.
But I hopefully don't have to deal with them again anytime soon. For now, I'm going to go look for Agnetha. So she'll go to give him the hug and kiss goodbye.
Okay. Well, I will see you this evening. I will wait up. Any kind of questioningly.
We're not, as far as I know, we're not going to have to leave town or anything to get her. So, and we can't teleport away until Kenna has a long rest. So I'll come back here for that.
Well, that sounds good. Your friend has to rest up for the evening, and
exactly. I like enforced breaks.
Got me and Fane will have you at least for the evening. Then, excellent.
That's the idea.
So you all end up meeting up over at Agnetha's apartment, place where she rents a room, and Jerissa shows up with Bucket, and Bucket has got like that big basin strapped to his back, and some jugs, strapped to his hip with the water that Jerissa uses to scry with, and some of his other regions. It makes him kind of look like a tinkerer with everything that he's got attached to him, and then he himself being made of clockwork bits and pieces. The whatever light there is catching off of his brass and silver components.
Hey Dave, Haley's never met any of these characters before. Can you that was a great description. Can you tell me a little bit more race?
Okay.
Yada.
Jerissa is an elf with dark hair, tall and good looking and well dressed, and Bucket is a construct, a clockwork man made out of mostly made out of brass and copper.
Okay. Wow, he's a construct.
He is
a sentient construct.
Yes, he's a clockwork person, so made of gears, springs, sprockets.
And these are common. Is this common in the world here?
There are several
around
of them.
Town.
Yeah, there are several of them around town, but I wouldn't say it's completely common.
Okay. Well, from the time that I've been at one church, traveled to another church, been to another church. For as powerful as Haley is, she's really naive, so I just didn't know.
Well, aren't they mostly here in Gryphongaffe at this point?
They pretty much, that's it.
There's a lot of people from different planes in Gryphongaffe for some reason.
Yes, so you may have seen a tiefling or two. They're still pretty rare. There's a bunch of dragonborn.
Okay.
In Gryphongaffe, which you would not have seen anywhere else. You may or may not have actually seen the clockwork people because there is not very many here. There's a small contingent or gentrified area of halflings now. Halflington it has kind of sprung up recently. There's also a bunch of dwarves, mountain dwarves from Crathan Gulch that inhabit as well. There's less elves, which obviously elves and dwarves you would have seen elsewhere. But the rarest thing would be the clockwork folks as well as the dragonborn.
Okay, Haley's originally from the city of Draluk. Draluk? Is that how you say it? Draluk.
Yeah, the kingdom of Draluk.
So that's a big city.
Yes.
And then, so from there to Knollfield, Knollford Fields, and then to Gryphongaffe. So that's pretty much where she's been, other than the underground catacombs, free to Beholder.
Yeah. So you would have probably, encountered dwarves and elves and halflings and half elves and all the kind of like the standard race. But Dragonborn, right now can only be found in one area. So you probably would have seen them since you've been here long enough. But it would have been an oddity for sure.
Okay. Just checking. Just wanted to get a little feedback on what these guys looked like. I had no clue that he was like a clockwork construct, so that's good to know.
The small details. Sorry. My bad.
No, it's okay.
So so Jerissa and Bucket come in, which you briefly met Jerissa on the street when you and Deneen came up. And so Bucket begins like shrugging the stuff off and piling it up. And then, he turns to you and extends a hand. I am Bucket.
Who made you?
Well, that's an interesting question. We were all made, all of our bodies were made, but I was actually born and then they put me inside of this vessel.
Yeah. His people were all like meat people first, and then they transferred them into these metal people.
A terrible sickness was ravaging the land, and we were kind of swindled into a cure, but it actually enslaved some of our people and someone else. So the other way to save the rest of us was to put us in these clockwork bodies. So, I don't actually know who was the actual maker of this particular body. It's funny you should mention that. In all these years, I've never even thought about that. I should probably go figure out who made me. It's got to be someone in the Clockwork Kingdom. They did such a good job. I mean, this body's held up for centuries.
I was going to ask, how long have you been you?
Well, it's funny you should ask that because I've been me for a very long time, but the Clockwork Kingdom had frozen before those strange creatures came and turned the keys and made the portal that's in the library.
And you can't get back to your city anymore?
Oh yeah, I can, but we've been there for so long. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to do. And the Clockwork King has given us permission to travel freely back and forth between Gryphongaffe and our home.
Gryphingaffe's just the best, is what it basically boils up down to.
There's so many interesting things here. There's things to do. There's people to meet. And
I'll be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the idea of settling down in a stationary place, but as far as towns go, this one is a good one.
It is an odd place, that is for sure. There is always something strange and interesting going on. Whether it's a siege by monsters, or a portal opening up, or chaos storms.
Portals, blood cultists. Wait, chaos storms here?
Well, occasionally they happen.
Here?
Well, I'm sure they happen everywhere.
Do they? I thought that was just... Didn't a chaos storm and a big monster destroy Ryler? Has it been happening elsewhere since then? Remember, we were gone for a year and a half.
That's what Jerissa told me. He said there's the chaos storms and they can happen anywhere at any time. Some places seem more prone than others. There's that creature that that they used to build a bomb with a while back. Murphy McCrystaltop, I think they call him. Can't miss him. The fellow's really big. He's bigger than Troll.
Is he a construct like you?
No. He's made of flesh, and crystal, and he's got one big eye. He lives outside of town, though. He doesn't come here very often, is my understanding.
Aww.
But Jerissa told me when they brought him to the library because they needed him to stare at a crystal for them and empower it with some kind of energy.
Was it mystic energy?
I think he said entropy. Yep, it was entropy.
I don't know what that is. Kenna, didn't Finnelis say that the barriers between the planes are getting thinner and thinner? and that there's all these portals here in Gryphongaffe. Does that potentially make us more vulnerable to chaos, storm stuff?
I hope not, but I look at Jerissa with a questioning expression.
It absolutely does.
Oh, good.
And out of character, that was Danine's one big insight for the day. Because I keep forgetting to play her intelligence appropriately. She's just a wild guess.
There, yeah. I mean, it is one of the reasons why I came to Gryphongaffe. I mean, other Quadrupathian's great, and I like my people, but sometimes they become a bit much for me, and they can be a little stuffy here at the library. Less so, except for the old elf at the desk. That guy. I don't even know why he ever left Quadrupathian. He fits in right with the rest of my my cousins there. But Gryphongaffe has a lot to offer. There's components that come through all the time from these chaos storms. So it's good for research.
As long as the city doesn't get destroyed, that sounds great.
So these chaos storms, do they have the lightning and the thunder like regular storms?
Yes and no. That's the problem with the nature of chaos. It sometimes it's like that. Sometimes sometimes the lightning springs from the ground instead of the sky. The colors are wrong. It can rain strange substances. Sometimes the effects of the chaos storms last a long time. Sometimes they vanish right away. Sometimes they're permanent.
I don't like this.
Like, Murphy McCrystaltop was a good example. I mean, he was just they call these creatures. I don't know. The rumor is they were twisted and cursed by magicians from another time, but there were these chaos prospectors, these folks that go out and they harvest the materials that are left behind by the storms, and this group was using him to sniff out chaos storms, and they kind of would keep him in a metal box and then bring him out and kind of use him like a hound. Well, his metal box got struck by one of these lightning from one of these chaos storms, and instead of hurting him, it made him grow to the size of a giant. And I believe the creatures, they call them Nothics.
Have you ever been hit by a lightning bucket?
Okay, can we stop talking about lightning, please?
Well,
we got Scrying to do.
You so did bring it up.
Janine will lean over, like, above and behind Kenna's head to Haley and just be like, it's kind of a thing for her.
Oh, sorry. I'm just...
We've got enough problems to handle right now without worrying too hard about chaos storms.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
They're good questions.
I'm sorry if I've offended you. I've never met or had an opportunity to speak with someone as intelligent and kind as you. Oh.
Okay.
So most of that talking was done by Jerissa. Bucket kind of just chimed in here and there, but the actual details.
I'm more interested in Bucket. I mean, that's just my character. She's okay. Elves, he knows this. Very interesting.
It's okay. Bucket gets that a lot.
Is Bucket? I kind of picture him like short and like kind of stubby. I don't know. Is he tall?
He's like 6 foot tall.
Okay, not at all.
I envision him. I envision him as like a 6 foot tall iron giant, but much shinier.
Okay, I'm like thinking,
and more cogs and sprockets and springs.
Okay, so just very cool and shiny. You said so very.
Kath had the exact same reaction when she met Bucket. She wanted to know all about his home plane. You gals are definitely gonna bond about this.
Also, he also is well dressed.
The Clockwork Kingdom too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has all kinds of info. She's been researching.
So, you've been in town long enough to see kind of what there isn't nobility per se, but the wealthier people wear, and Bucket dresses like them.
Oh, okay.
So, Jerissa begins pulling out all of his scrying implements and asks if, will you ladies assist me since you know Agnetha so well?
So during most of that conversation, Deneen was essentially casing Agnetha's apartment.
Yeah.
It's sort of a combination of finding out if she has anything interesting and ostensibly trying to figure out if anything else was taken. So I'll ask Sam about that at some later point.
Okay.
But then now she'll say, "Sure, I'll help. What can I do?"
Well, since you've done that, give me an investigate check.
All right.
Right. Do it. I'm sorry.
A 6.
Oh wow.
I have a negative 1 on investigation.
Okay. So you're checking things out and looking.
Well, her stash is gone. I know that much.
It's definitely an apartment.
Yep.
So, with that...
I can't tell the difference between whether it's just naturally a mess or if somebody, tossed the whole place. I have no idea.
I don't know what it looked like to begin with, so...
Exactly.
You probably did, though, right? You've been here a lot.
I don't know that I have.
Wait a minute. Does any one of us think that Agnetha is actually a neat freak?
No.
So Deneen offers to help. How can I help you, Jerissa?
I imagine that Agnetha's apartment looks like 5 dudes live there.
A bomb blew off in it.
Just all I need you to do. Just need the 3 of you to think of Agnetha and the times that you've spent with her. And with that, he kind of has you each sit cross-legged. And he kind of places the basin in the center, and he's pours the water in, and he's kind of leaning over each of you as he kind of walks around and swirls the water inside.
So Deneen's mental slideshow right now of Agnetha is all Agnetha attacking things by jumping on them.
Me too.
Agnetha drinking and Agnetha smoking.
Okay,
that's the whole slideshow right there.
The fighting and the jumping thing, so...
Yep. Jumping on things while smoking and drinking, perhaps.
Yeah, Ken is definitely thinking dirty thoughts. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Oh.
So, so this goes on for a good 10 minutes with thunder and lightning. With Jerissa kind of just focusing his arcane energies, and he begins standing over Kenna just because it's the most accessible to the basin, and swirling his hand above it, but he's standing, so it's several feet above it, and the water begins to kind of swirl, and in that swirl, clouds begin to form, and in those clouds, a figure kind of appears. And the first thing that kind of stands out that you see is an emerald green flashes of light as a long polearm weapon. You see it being wielded back and forth, slashing, flicking out, and in the surrounding the figure, almost in this murky cloudiness or mist. Every once in a while, you see silhouettes of figures that kind of lurch in, and they're met by the sharp glaive, and as it connects with something, you see one of those emerald flashes of light, and it's the same flashes of light when you've seen Agnetha fight and invoke the power of her glaive in the past. You see thorns and vines wrap around these murky figures that seem really indistinct, and even the figure that's dancing between the foes is only barely perceivable as Agnetha Armbreaker, but everything around her is a shrouded realm. I see her. I can feel her. I don't know where she's at.
Can I? She looks like she's having a fight. Can I bless her through this thing? Can I try?
Make a caster check to do such.
A religion check, I guess.
Nope, a caster check. So it's your modifier plus the die.
Oh, let's see.
Can I help her and give her advantage?
Yeah, you can assist, and that would be
Yeah.
advantage.
1d20 plus... So it's plus my spell attack bonus?
Yes.
Nat 20 for 27.
Oh, nice.
I'm screen capping this one.
Yeah. Post that shit.
So so you feel the divine energy of leaving, funnel through you into the scrying basing, into Agnetha Armbreaker, and briefly her figure glimmers in a silver light as the blessing takes effect.
Thanks, boss. You're awesome. Janine will concentrate on this so that it'll help Agnetha for at least a minute.
So, I think she's between worlds. She's not here nor there. It's the ethereal plane, the astral plane, the realm of the fairy, the fae, the plane of shadow. These are all the places that are between worlds, where they all intersect. But it's not the world of fae. That's not fairy that she's at for sure. Astral, ether. The murkiness. It's not dark enough for shadow. But it does appear your friend is a bit stuck.
How do we get her back?
Well, maybe the way she got there, someone has to bring her back, or call her from that place.
Could we teleport to her and then teleport back with her?
Could we possibly draw a pentagram on her apartment floor and put her pipe on one spoke of it and like a weapon on another and maybe a bottle of like moonshine back there and like...
Well, without a clue of what we're doing, we're just gonna put it all together and see what happens.
No, that was kind of asking in character.
I don't know. You can summon powerful beings, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Agnetha is powerful, but I don't know if she quite qualifies.
What are two other objects we would use to summon it? Probably something's pelt that didn't deserve to die.
Borscht.
She did mention that she was getting some oh no. That was me mentioning it. I don't know if she really did it. Never mind. That doesn't help.
Just have her rock sit on the other spoke. Okay.
I don't have magic powerful enough to pull her through.
Oh, good. I don't know what to do. And this is my fault, so I need to clean this up.
Is there any chance it'll just like wear off at some point and spit her out?
Maybe. I mean, it's hard to say. It wasn't like she ended up there intentionally. So possibly.
Maybe we should have you research this while we're out of town.
I mean, I've seen you teleport. Can you travel to other planes?
I don't think it works that way.
But it does. She got there, wherever that is.
Yeah, she did, but I don't know how that happened.
But if you maybe you could still use the teleport to like go the same way, even though you didn't know how you did it, but you did do it.
Do we know what
Can
plane
I
it is?
pick up Agnetha's pipe and like try to use it as a focus to find her instead of finding a place?
He thinks it's either the ethereal or astral plane.
One or the other. I can take us to one or the other.
You can?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't.
Haley,
wait!
you're a
Don't
lifesaver.
don't do it yet, though. I told my husband I'd be back tonight.
It's either one or the other. And if we go to the wrong one,
Well, you have a conduit. You could go, like, the scrying will allow you to use it as a conduit.
Okay, but I told my husband I'd be back tonight, and that means I won't be.
Oh, well.
Jerissa,
okay.
do you trust Jerissa to go and tell him?
I mean, how much danger does she seem like she's in danger? Or does she seem like she's just having fun?
She's fighting something.
She's
right
in the middle
now.
of a fight.
I mean,
We
is
need
it
to
fun?
help
Is it a fun fight? Is it like
I mean, like it could be.
No, we gotta go help
arena?
her. All right, let's go help her.
I don't know about you, but I feel like every time Agnetha is in a fight, it's a fun fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how, All right, up to 8 willing creatures. Link hands, we can teleport.
Oh. Just the 3 of us.
But I think I have plane. So my plane options are for another plane of existence. So you said it was either astral plane or what was it?
Or the ethereal.
Which is our best guess?
Well, you can basically follow. You can follow the scry.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
that
makes
you
it a
can
lot
you can be like, I'm gonna go there.
Okay.
Deneen will pop her owl into existence so that she can be one of the creatures that we teleport, because she's not sure it would have come along otherwise.
Okay.
Because if there's a city someplace, so that's if there's a city on a plane, I can directly get us there. It's like the closest place of a destination.
I'm just holding Agnetha's pipe and focusing on her really hard.
Now, mind you, this is all in theory. I've never actually done it. So,
I've done that plenty of times.
never really been to these
Everybody,
know that I can go to these places.
everybody who casts magic has that moment when they cast a spell for the first time. So it's an adventure.
Okay. It takes one action, so that's what we're going to do, Dave. We're going to all hold hands to teleport to wherever our
Well, you guys are already holding hands around the basin.
plane shift.
So Bucket asks, do you have a
Bucket
way
wanna
back?
go? You want to go, Bucket?
He looks. You see his head tilt down towards the basin. Then he looks over. Then he turns his head towards you. No, thanks, Miss Haley. As these little flashes of green light are going off, and Agnetha, has things lunging at her. At some point, she jams the haft of the glaive into the ground and, drop kicks a monster away from her.
She's probably going to be pissed that we interrupted.
And
No. She's been trapped enough lately. And how else is she going to get back? We got to go get her.
Speaking of getting back, Bucket kind of says, and how are you coming back?
Haley, you can do that too, right?
Yeah, after a long rest, provided you're safe.
Oh, my husband's going to be so pissed. Okay, great.
Maybe we can get back and get her and then rest and then hurry back. I sound like
Let's just go. She's in the middle of a fight.
Kenna.
Let's go back our friend up.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so you begin chanting, and
Everyone, hold hands tight.
the world around you begins to fade away as the 3 of you reappear, shrouded in mist all around you, with shadowy figures moving in and out of the said mist. Agnetha is standing there with her glaive. She's breathing heavy. She's got that look in her eyes.
Oh boy.
When she's been raging. And, she's covered in a sheen of perspiration. You can see...
Hi, Agnetha. Hi. We're here to help. And Deneen goes and hides in the mist.
I'm sorry, I got you stuck in whatever plane this is.
And Agnetha just kind of grunts and continues fighting. And I think that's where we're going to wrap up right there for tonight, instead of starting a fight right now. And,
Starting a fight, okay.
and we'll come back next week and roll initiative.
Oh boy.
So I want to thank everyone for watching and thank you ladies for gaming with me tonight. And until next time, everyone, stay nerdy.
Stay
Stay nerdy.
Nerdy.